close ad meter 2019. In Toyota's 2019 Super Bowl, the company shows us why perceptions are meant to be shattered. USA Today. There are people in this world who say no. People who say stop. You can't. This is not for you. Then there are people, and probably very few, like Toni Harris, who don't listen. They won't accept no. They can't be stopped by words or circumstance or someone else's bias. Not by preconceived notions or others' limitations. Not by cancer. No, it's a word Harris has heard often in her life. A word she has learned to ignore, to dispose of by using it as kindling to fuel her desire to excel. To play football. To get a college scholarship. To play in the NFL. To succeed. To survive. I hate when people put limitations on my life, she said. It's not your life. Don't put limitations on something I know I can achieve. Detroit native Toni Harris in Toyota's 2019 Super Bowl commercial. Photo. Toyota. If you don't know who Harris is, you may have already seen her. She was thrust into the spotlight a week ago during the Super Bowl as the star of Toyota's commercial about shattering perceptions. In the 1-minute ad, Harris was introduced to millions of viewers as someone who has been doubted her whole life but still managed to earn a football scholarship. She believed to be the first woman to do so as a skill player. But that's only a sliver of the story for Harris, 22, who was born and raised in Detroit, graduated from Redford Union High School in 2014 and just finished her second season as a safety at East Los Angeles College. To understand what Harris has gone through, you have to start with her family. It was the only subject she was reluctant to speak about, and it's understandable. Her mother gave her up for adoption at an early age, and Harris entered foster care when she was 4 years old. She had other foster families at 9, at 13 and at 15. 15 was the last home I was in with my guardian mom now, she said. It was official October 6 of 2011. I remember that because that was the last person I was with. My mom's been in my life the whole time I was adopted, so I consider them both really close to me. My mom has some things to get together. I had people that were set to take me in, so I'm close to both of them. Detroit native Toni Harris in Toyota's 2019 Super Bowl commercial. Photo. Toyota. Harris declined to give the name of her birth mother or her guardian mother. She met her father for the first time 3 years ago and said she has a good relationship with both my parents. It's clear Harris's upbringing is a sensitive subject, but it's not a sore one. There's no trace of resentment in her voice when she speaks of it. The formative event from her childhood that Harris prefers to speak of is the deep love she developed for football when she was about 4 and watched her cousin, Demetrius Harris, play on his youth football team, the West Side Steelers of the Detroit Police Athletic League. It looked fun and I'm like, I really want to try that. I really want to do something different than cheerleading and track and field, she said. Ever since then, I've been in love with football. The struggle began. Harris's struggle truly started when she began pursuing her love of football and started to hear people tell her she couldn't play. I was between 4 and 5, she said, but then I was kicked off the team because I was a little girl. The coaches didn't allow me to play because they said my body was fragile. I didn't take it too well. I kept trying and they kept kicking me off the team. So once I got to high school I was able to decide on my own how to get through it and how to make people let me play. I was demanding and I was determined. What she didn't know was that playing for Redford Union would be among her best and worst experiences. She was the first girl to play football at the school and everything seemed to be fine during her junior year while she played on the junior varsity team. That changed the summer of her senior year, and then August 1 came and they kicked me off the team, she said. I was so pissed. I cried for about 3 hours. I even told my guardian mom I wanted to transfer to the rival school. After Harris and her family spoke with the school district administrator, her guardian mom signed a waiver agreeing not to sue the school if she got hurt playing football. Harris said the school's head coach at the time, Tony Harris, was supportive and pushed for her to play, but athletic director and assistant principal Mike Humitz didn't want her on the team. "He was kind of pushing for me not to play," she said of Humitz. "I don't believe he liked the idea of me playing because he asked me after football," he said. "So what's next now, Tony? Boys basketball? Boys wrestling?" And I was just like, "Oh, he's bitter." Humitz died Jan. 1 at age 54 after a battle with cancer. Current AD Toni, who said he was proud of Harris's accomplishments, was surprised to hear Humitz opposed Harris's participation. "I don't remember that there was any consternation from Mike's part," Toni said. "There was a girl that played a couple years later when I was the head football coach and she was just on the team. I don't know. If that's what she remembers, I can't dispute it." Obviously, Mike's not here to dispute it. Football queen once Harris was cleared to play, she didn't want any part of being a kicker. Even at 5'4" and about 130 pounds, she played receiver and defensive back. "She had real good speed and she picked up on things fairly quick," assistant coach Rob Rankin said. "You didn't have to show her things 100 times. She was a very good athlete. Athletically she did the things right and would pick up on the movements and everything. I'd seen some aggression, but that wasn't her thing. She was more of a technician." Toni Harris wears her homecoming queen tiara after starting a game for Detroit Red Union in high school. Photo. Toni Harris. The highlight of Harris's season came during the homecoming game against Livonia Clarenceville. She started the game, but she was also on the homecoming court. She had been nominated for Queen and had to attend the halftime ceremony. "In the beginning of the second quarter, I left the game to go into the locker room to take off my uniform, get my hair done and put on my dress and heels," she said. "I came out with my dress and heels and everything, then she heard her name announced." Toni Harris was a queen, on and off the field. "When they said my name, I think I still have a video of it. You can see me looking around like, whose name did they say?" she said. "And they handed me the flowers and the crown and I was so much in awe." Her teammates were equally shocked and happy for her, "And then I put my uniform and stuff back on and went out there on the field," she said. "And then Coach Crawley told me, I am not going to put you back in the game if you do not take that lipstick off." The joy and laughter in Harris's voice as she recalled the memory said everything about her experience. "That was the best part of high school football for me," she said. "I started that game and I was the homecoming queen, fighting cancer in the fall." Harris enrolled at the University of Toledo with plans to walk on for the team that competes in the Football Bowl subdivision, college's highest level. On November 19, 2014, she was diagnosed with stage 1 ovarian cancer. She had 16 grueling rounds of chemotherapy and went into remission. 2015, "I thought my future was over because cancer's a scary thing," she said. "I didn't know what to do. I had just turned 18 years old, I was just in my freshman year of college. And I was like, every time I turn around something bad's happening. Every time I get one step ahead, I get pushed 10 steps back. And I was scared." She leaned on her faith. Her mother prayed for her. And then she remembered football. "It was her passion and her purpose. I was like, I'm just going to have to get through this," she said. "Life happens and you can't do anything about it. You're either going to sit in your sorrow or you're going to fight another day. And I chose to fight." Shining in the Golden State before she went into remission, Harris decided to move to Los Angeles. She needed a change of scenery. She appreciated everyone's concern in Detroit, but it was a little suffocating, sometimes being around family. "I mean, they love you and they support you, but sometimes it gets sad," she said. "I don't want it to be a pity party and I don't like being babied. I've been independent for a long time on my own. I'm just doing things on my own. So I didn't want to be in Detroit no more." Toni Harris played last season at East Los Angeles College. She appeared in 6 games, making 3 tackles. Photo. East Los Angeles College. In 2016, she enrolled at Golden West College, a suburban community college in Huntington Beach. She went through spring practice but ultimately was told by the coach that she would never play. He said in his eyes I wasn't a college football player, Harris said. A Golden West assistant coach suggested enrolling at East Los Angeles College, another two-year school. That's where she met head coach Bobby Godinez, who she said showed early hesitation over health and safety protocols. Eventually he said he had to get on me on the field because I didn't take no for an answer, she said. I was at every practice, at every meeting. I've never been late for anything, Godinez told Harris what he tells all prospective players. I was honest with her from the beginning, he said, and let her know that she would have to earn her spot and work for it, and I made her work for it. She stuck around and didn't take no for an answer. She made her way onto the team and onto the field. Godinez was impressed with Harris's resolve, her intelligence and her commitment as a safety and cornerback. Her knowledge of the game can push you ahead of others, especially at this level, he said. Just knowing, being here consistently will help you just because you'll learn things some of the players won't grasp because they're not as consistent with their film study or playbook. So she was always on top of that. She was accepted quickly by her ELAC teammates and even helped set an example with her work ethic. She was fearless in practice, sometimes winning collisions, sometimes not. She ended up playing in 3 games last season. She broke up a pass and made 3 tackles, including one for a 24-yard loss. Super opportunity. About 3 months ago, Toyota contacted Godinez about featuring Harris in a commercial to feature an empowering story about a woman. About a month ago, they shot the commercial over 3 days at ELAC. When it aired, Harris was sitting in her seat watching the Super Bowl at Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta courtesy of Toyota. The commercial wasn't shown in the stadium, but Harris's buzzing phone let her know exactly when it aired. She had 89 texts before she could put it on Do Not Disturb. Soon, she had 1,500 texts. It's been part of a whirlwind for Harris, who has done countless interviews and flew to New York as a guest on ABC's Good Morning America. Before the commercial aired, she received the first of a handful of scholarship offers to 4-year colleges, mostly to NAIA schools but one to a Division II school. She hasn't made a choice, but her only requirement is that the school offer a criminal justice major. She hopes to also get a master's degree in forensics and work as a crime scene investigator. The NFL, a dream and a plan, but CSI is Harris's fallback. Her real dream is playing in the NFL. You know, I dream about it every single day, she said. I think the way I dream about football is so inexplicable. I can't even explain how much I dream. I dream about interceptions, what team I'll be on, what I'll be doing. Like that's how much I think about football. It's probably crazy how much I think about it. But I think when you really love something and you have that much passion about it, that's going to be on your mind. Let's be real. If someone told me 2 weeks ago a female, 5'4", 130-pound junior college free safety thought she could play in the NFL, I would have dismissed it. But Harris is dead serious. She also has a plan. She wore number 31 at ELAC as a tribute to Seattle Seahawks safety Cam Chancellor, her favorite player on her favorite team. And she plans to play for the Seahawks for a good reason. I like how Pete Carroll always takes chances on people that are underrated, she said of the coach. And I believe when it's my chance to go to the NFL, he'll take a chance on me. Last year, Seattle drafted linebacker Shaquem Griffin in the 5th round. Even though Griffin had his left hand amputated at a young age, no one thought Shaquem was going to play college football, Harris said, let alone in the NFL with his brother, Shaquille, on the same team. Detroit native Toni Harris in Toyota's 2019 Super Bowl commercial. Photo, Toyota, paving the way for little girls. Since the Super Bowl commercial aired, Harris's Twitter has been filled with women thanking her for her inspiration and mothers posting pictures of their young daughters who play football. Women are starting to carve out their space in the NFL. Sarah Thomas became the league's first female referee in 2015, and women are being hired as assistant coaches. Now there's Harris. She's blazing a trail, knocking down barriers and ignoring the naysayers. She's doing it in cleats. She's doing it in heels. The Walt Disney Co. has called her about a possible movie, she said. The story of Harris's life deserves to be told. It's an opportunity and a responsibility she embraces fully. I feel like it's not only a privilege but it's an honor, she said, because not every day you can call somebody a role model, you know. It's not easy being a role model because it takes so much strength and so much energy out of you every day just to be that role model. I feel like I keep doing what I'm doing and keep having faith in God I can keep paving the way for little girls everywhere. I believe I'm going to be the first female NFL player. But if it just so happens that I'm not, I want to make sure there's a way paved for the next little girl that can get there. Contact Carlos Monarez at cmonarez@freepress.com or follow him on Twitter at cmonarez.